World Mixed Doubles Curling Championship 2017. We saw all 39 teams play their first game yesterday, and we can't wait to see some more action today. Please join us as we enter the MTB Centre and get ready for our featured game between Estonia and Finland. My name is Sander Ulvåg, and I'm joined by the life of the party, Sarah Anderson. Good afternoon.
Hey there, Sander.
Well, I have a look at the standings in Group A. You'll see Belarus, Brazil, Finland and Latvia all off to a good start with a win. And then the bottom half, we'll see Croatia alongside Estonia, two-time world champions Hungary and Japan. All starting off with a loss. Team lineup for Estonia today. Male player is Erkki Lill. Female is Maile Mulder. And the team is coached by brother of Erkki, Martin Lill.
Then for Team Finland, the male player is Tommi Rantamäki. The female player is Una Kausta. And the coach is Joseph Brown. A mixed doubles team consists of one female and one male player. At the beginning of each end, there is a pre-positioned stone per team. The teams have 5 stones each instead of the usual 8, like in men's and women's curling. And the games are 8 ends long with 22 minutes of thinking time for each team. In the mixed doubles, one player throws the first and last, and the other player throws the middle 3 rocks. But the players are actually allowed to switch positions in between ends if they would like. A key rule in mixed doubles is that you cannot take out your opponent's rock until the 4th played stone. And once a game, each team has the option to use the power play when they have the hammer.
Well, thank you so much for that, Sarah.
Yeah, a bit of rules of mixed doubles, difference from men's and women's.
Yeah, and we'll make sure to keep everyone up to date on the rules and run through them as the game will progress. Just to make sure, it is Finland throwing the yellow stones, Estonia the red. We're already in the action here. A few stones in play. As we see Tommi Rantamäki try and come around the guard, but just going to crash. Spills the shooter to the top of the 12. Not too bad there for Finland. You have 3 yellows in the rings. You do have the last stone advantage.
Yeah, not bad to open up the center there.
Didn't move it all that much. I believe the shot stone's still slightly buried. And we'll have our first look at Maile Mulder, the 37-year-old. Throw the end turn, just come around once more, or perhaps just throw a guard. So maybe just a tad heavy there, doesn't quite get there. Sits in the open.
Saadaan 2 pois, oma ei jää pesään. Tää saadaan etupuolelta ohi kyllä tuolta. Toinen. Mahtuuko ton sisäposkeen?
Tähän
niin.
Pääsee kyllä, mutta...
Mä ajattelin, että jos tulee rauhallisella, hipasee ja osuu tohon. Se on vaan niin pieni hipsu.
Joo, mä luulen, että se on vähän vaikea. Käy enemmän tästä.
Eli tupla vaan niistä?
Niin.
Ja oma pois?
Joo.
Okei, 7.
Good opportunity here for them to open up the forefoot. Team Finland.
Yeah, I'm looking at the broom position from Mulder, or from Kausta rather. I'm assuming we'll see some big weight from Rantamäki. And here he is, Tommi. Curl for 31 years. He's definitely been on the circuit for a while. So we will see the big peel weight. Be looking to spill a couple of reds here. And they do get 2 reds going. Jumps at the back, but that's pretty hard to avoid. In the end, they're sitting second and third shot. Not a bad result.
That's probably the best he could do there.
And as you said, they have somewhat opened up the forfeit here.
Sitting, I think, 2 and 3, too.
See kollane on parem kui meie punane seal.
Ahah, okei.
Üks asi on see, et see vaba kivi pealt maha võtta.
Okei. Ja sinna tegelikult võiks ta rullida veits teisele poole, on ju?
Aga näed sellise 9-80-ga maha, veits teiga.
Jaa.
Okei.
Okei.
Suunda ära kivi jagu.
Vau.
35.
Kiire. Mitte midagi. Vau. Keerab. Ei veel. Ole valmis. Ei!
Kiire näiteks.
Okei.
Does make the hit in the back, but rolls out, so
Maile.
chance for Finland
Sorry,
to
kiire oli.
See oli 35.
set up for their 2 here.
80
I believe Rantamäki can see a little bit of the red, but choosing to just play the draw here.
Typical mixed doubles fashion.
Yeah. Is there no way you can maybe just come after that shot stone with the hack weight and sit 2?
I think with how the ice has been curling, it's there.
Just maybe sticking to the routine shot here.
Yep.
Definitely the draw will be the higher percentage shot in mixed doubles as you play a lot more of them. But in the end, they do tap up the red stone, so
Sinul veel või?
they will sit 2. That looked pretty simple.
Kumba poolt sa eelistad?
Mida?
Kumbast poolt sa eelistad tulla?
The only problem is they've left the yellow stone behind the tee line, in behind cover, so
See oli 12 poole.
Estonia ever plays the freeze, now they're in a bit of trouble.
90 ja 12 pool. Kummalt poolt sa tahad?
Me asetame sinna.
Kas sa kõksuga ei taha ära seda lüüa?
Ei ole sittagi näha.
Yes, a good opportunity here for Estonia to
Okei.
possibly steal or force a point by taking control.
Sealt poolt äkki või?
Ah?
Väljast
And at the same time, with a
Ma läheks sinna asetama.
mistake here, could be giving up 3.
Kui kaitse on
Kinniga
siin pool,
äkki pigem. Kinniga sisse.
tõuseb sinna vastu. Okei, lähme kinniga. Võimalikult kollase vastu, okei?
30.
Ja suund võiks olla sinise keskele ennem. Võtame kollase välisserv, vaata.
Jah. Ütleme, sealt keerab küll
3-15.
30. Natuke rohkem suunda ja sealt 15.
Definitely talking this one over. As we see Erki Lill
Palju?
3 naise.
Ei.
throw the draw here. And it probably will be the freeze.
Suuna pärast ei. Suuna pärast ei.
Kiirust on.
Suuna pärast ei.
Tundub ise.
Las kukub veel. Väga hea suund on, las olla seal.
Kiire.
Looking close for line, but
Ei, kiire on, vaata lööb.
all on the heavy side here. And it's just going to bounce off the yellow. It's pretty heavy attempt there by Lill. And that's going to sit in the open. It looks like Finland will have a chance to score 3 with a nose hit. They'll be choosing to play that from the center line and out. And by the ice they're taking, they're throwing a fairly controlled weight at this.
Smart move so that their shooter will stick around.
So sitting in the 1, but you make contact with the back red, you bring the top one into play, keep the shooter around. They're scoring 3. Last stone, first 10 for Una Kausta. Looks pretty close. Still a bit off and on here, coming down, and no problems from Miss Kausta. It's 3 points for Finland.
Nice start.
Nice start indeed, and the Estonians will have to try and use a hammer in the next end to pick up a few points themselves and claw back. For now, Finland up by 3.
Ikkagi 30 sul 15. tuli kogemata. Sorry.
Maile.
Jah.
So we're back in action on the center court. Finland scores 3 in the first end, so Una Kausta to throw this first draw. And I've asked you before, Sarah, but where's the ideal spot for this one?
Ideal spot is to just split the center line there and just top button, keep it in front of the tee is my preference.
And how would you rate this attempt by Una Kausta?
Inniga saame kiirem pool. Inniga.
I think there's some room for improvement on her next lead shot, but just has some a foot and a half lighter.
Palju? Palju?
3.
Ma ei kuula ju.
Ma ei taha öelda seda.
Kaugel on väga. Mitte midagi tee.
Came up a little heavy on his draw attempt. And the first end. Now looking for that top 4 spot. No sweeping
Ei, lõpuni.
from Mulder.
Väga hea, las olla nii.
Definitely there on its own. And will slip behind the tee, tap the red stone up. So just needing to take some of the weight off of his draws.
Veel vaiksemaks, oli 3-le.
Jah.
Veel vaiksem.
Ma tean, seda on raske uskuda, aga nii oli.
Suunta on hyvä. Jap. Jap.
She's really curling a lot there with this intern coming home.
Kova! Osu suoja. Ei, 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 ei!
So a little shy for weight there from Rantamäki. Maybe keep a little tight on line and call it the fresh path. Could be possible, second end.
Yeah, and even Team Estonia's rock just before this one was curling hard towards the center line. So it's a good thing to keep an eye on.
Nüüd tuleb 3:40. 3:30.
Suund välisserv.
Okei.
Definitely giving Estonia a chance here to score a 3 back.
3:17.
Okei, siis las vaata jälgi.
Quite important to
Suunda praegu, okei.
keep this draw in front of the tee line.
Suunda.
Having to come just a tad wider than normal now with the guards moved to the side a wee bit. And this one will over curl. Well, shy for weight as well.
Liiga soft oli.
Soft.
Rohkem positiivsust, 17.
I heard from Erkilil.
Good translation there.
Well, you know, like in Norway and Sweden, Denmark, and all of Europe, we tend to use English words for things.
Just throw them in there in the middle of the...
Sometimes you don't find a good, like a Norwegian word for it, so always borrow the English terms.
I should start doing that with Norwegian. So random words into my sentences.
Well, a great chance for Tomi Rantamäki to make up for that previous mistake now. Come around everything. This is definitely a lot wider than his previous draw. And then perhaps just a bit keener of a path as well. So he threw a guard on the previous draw. Now thinking, okay, I'm going to add a little weight, but comes a little wider, maybe in the keener spot, and ends up being maybe an over corrected shot there, perhaps?
Yeah, maybe just caught the pass that they were using in pre-game practice for that last shot draws. But it'd be really good if someone can lock one on here.
jälle üritan hästi aeglaselt 17.
30, 3.15 on 3.15 okei.
Ei, ja toihan oli ihan täysin heittämätön linja se, niin kuin, sitä haettiin, että totta kai se sitten tuli linja.
16.
sees olla, Arja. Täis, Harri. Mega kõva. Mega kõva. Täis. Täis. Jep, jõuad. Ainult kiirus, ei.
This one's looking close.
Ei.
Oh, just squeaking past the guard. Down onto the button and taps to red, but how far? I think red might be lying too.
Keeras nii palju.
Infot ei olnud ja oli
Good sweeping there by her partner to get that by the guard. Just haired it.
No vahet ei ole, ta on hästi.
Näyttää lujalta. Tilaa on paljon. Suunta on hyvä. Jos voima on hyvä, niin suunta on hyvä. Jop! Ei! Jop!
Well, Tommi Rantamäki has seems to have found the right mix
Hyvä hei.
for path and weight. Perfect little freeze there onto the nose of the Estonian shot stone, and will be lying second.
Siia.
Definitely making it harder for Estonia to get a multiple score in.
Mul on kivi vaja, millega läbi lüüa.
Tema ei saa siis ära meie oma lüüa või?
It's a really good shot in time
Ma ei saa
to
kollast mitte millegagi.
hold them or force them to one here possibly.
A stitch in time saves 9.
Kui ta peab nähtavale jääma, pool kivi vähemalt mulle.
Yes, it was about time for one of them to freeze one on there. Nice.
I think it would still be possible for Estonia to maybe come on the out turn here around the guards. Side button to lie to. See if that's their choice here. I don't think so. Or looks like they're throwing the in turn.
3.17.
Jah. Hoia.
Oota, kiire tundub.
Ahah, siis ei.
Tundub kiire.
Keerab. Ei keera. Keerab täis. Suund. Ainult tee. Keerab täis.
Äkki riivab kollast?
Just over curling as well. Just gonna clip the yellow guard.
Super.
Looks like they were wanting to block off that path actually. I heard Erkki fairly happy with the result, thinking that Finland could maybe come down the same way and tap their yellow. But I don't know, even tapping my yellow, I'm not sure if you're going to get shots though in Finland. So
Interesting to see for them to guard this side.
yeah, I'm honestly a little puzzled by this.
I think he was motioning that he was trying to guard the run back on that one in the top 8, but the out-turn draw might be a bit easier for Team Estonia.
Yeah, definitely out-turn draw seems very available, even though this side might curl a tap more. You see this very interesting sweeping technique from the Finns.
Yeah, it's like slow with a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
I haven't really seen the slow speed
Well,
of sweeping.
I'll tell you this, Tommi Rantamäki, he's a guy to experiment with a lot of things. He's going to test, especially when we had the sweeping thing last year. He was one of the guys that would be pretty on top of everything. Doing a lot of testing. He's got all this kind of equipment.
Might be onto something then.
Could be. I'm not going to laugh it off before I try it myself.
Punast otse edasi, aga see on üle kaugel.
Teeme lihtsalt
Lihtsalt
sellise
asetuse, onju.
asetuse.
The whole
ja kui ei tule, pole hullu ja kui
The whole
tuleb,
thing about the carving still,
3-20 või?
theory is that
ruumi, saad
Ei, ta ei
kukub.
tõuse
if you
sinna
sweep
peale.
Erki.
with the curl, you make some scratches.
Soovi, et sa
Sinise keskele
I assume the
natuke peale.
scratches this year with the new pans would be, you know, severely less
Sealt
abrasive
tõmbas
than
kinni välisservas, selles on asi.
last season.
Erinev kiirus on.
But there's still a tiny bit of effect there.
3-20, okei, anna suund.
As you'll see, Erki Lill get ready in the hack to throw that out turn draw.
Suund okei.
Sitting one,
Ei,
could be
lõpuni
for
ei.
two.
Kannata, väljas ja kiire.
Lots of curl here. Doesn't have to come too close to the guard, I think. But this one definitely a little bit wide.
Lats jääb 13-3.
Ei, lõpuni ei, oota
This one's going to
kannata.
have to really work in there.
Nice attempt there.
But only the 1 point for Estonia here. So Finland holds the lead. 3 shots to 1 after 2 ends of play. We have 6 more exciting ends of mixed doubles play left.
Aivan. Ei, puhasta lihtsalt puhasta. Liina sidus, suunda väga hea, las tõuseb, kiirust. Kiirus on hea, liin on hea.
Mine vaatan kiirust, kõik
Kuidas
hästi,
läheb?
kõik hästi.
Tõmbab kinni juba.
Eesvalge.
Tõmbab kinni juba. Väga vaja, ees punane. Ees punane. Oota,
Keerab palju.
siis läheme vastu.
Mitte midagi, mitte
Well,
midagi.
first stone has just been thrown here in the third end. That's a pretty good result there. Gets almost to the face of the yellow. Onakausta will follow this draw down.
Suunta hyvä.
Voima aika hyvä.
Jop.
Bit of a scrappy second end from both teams. Ends up leaving Estonia scoring the single point.
Looks like a little bit of a better start here in this third end.
Audiga peale minna. Tõuseks pähe kollase pähe seisma sinna lihtsalt. 3-15-20. Suund on hästi rohkem. 15-20. Kolmkümmend
Hoia.
Tundus käpaga sisse ka.
Positiivne.
Käpaga sees.
Suund ei.
Ees punane.
Jep, suund ka, suund täis.
I know I can't understand what they're saying, but I really like the team communication between Estonia. Just lots of talk while the rock's going down from hog to hog.
Is there, at times, there's maybe too much talk?
I don't think you can have too much talk. I think as much as you can communicate about what you're seeing, what weight you think it's going to be a better shot.
As compared to Finland here.
Tarvii nousta.
As you see this interesting sweeping technique again. I think maybe the theory here is you get the directional sweeping without maybe adding too much heat.
Yeah, trying to...
You get the carving without, you know, adding weight to the rock, perhaps.
They're just adding those carves into the ice just with pressure of the broom head and not the heat of it.
Yep. Because obviously if you sweep it and you heat up the ice, less friction, stone will travel farther. It might make up for the effect you get from the carving. Well,
Maybe I'll have to go home and try it out.
yeah.
It's interesting having Team Finland and Team Estonia playing when the Estonian Curling Association was founded in 2002 and actually from 2 sets of stones that they had bought from Finland. So kind of fun that they're playing each other now.
Yep. Fairly, they're pretty much neighbors, the two countries. You can take a ferry from capital Finland, Helsinki, to the Estonian capital, Tallinn, in about 2 hours, I think, 2.5 hours.
Little day trip.
ma jäin lihtsalt korra
sinu
tagant
34 ja
vaatama.
positiivne on nagu minu 20.
Just.
Veel aeglasemalt. Ta on ideaalne siia vahele asetada lihtsalt.
Olen teadlik.
Be really nice to be able to freeze one here.
Yeah, nice little pocket.
I guess actually they might be hitting with that ice.
Yeah, it could be. You feel that in mixed doubles play, you tend to ignore opposition stones more than usual?
Yeah, it's hard to play such a defensive game because you can't hit into the fourth stone. So you definitely work with what you have and use those as backers to keep your own in play.
Does make the hit, does roll ever so slightly towards the center line.
See number 1 praegu, et
Mis siis? Meil on vaja sida tõugat tahapoole. Vaata veel järgi. Vaata palju näha on seda.
no 3 kivi.
Ja igal juhul tii taga punane siia vastu.
Okei.
Se nousi alkuun niinku, lopun tuli aika suoraan. Ei nyt ollut juurikaan kovakaan tai mitään.
Õige
Aga
väike
sinu
kõks.
3.15, mitte kiire.
Pigem asetuskiirus.
Asetuskiirus ja võib kõksu teha siin.
20 sel juhul.
Aga ta peab lükkama seda kollast natuke. Pähe või sisepõsk isegi.
Sees.
0.5. 0.5.
Ei. Ja, ei. Vau. Lõpuni ei. Hästi kukub. Kukub.
Sounds pretty close here. Just try and get to the inside here. Tap this yellow back.
Sooja kosku. Sooja.
Pretty nice shot there.
Ei muu.
Yep, does get the roll. Thought maybe she rolled a tad too far, but then again, those red stones are sort of angled down onto that yellow back 4.
And even has the catcher on that other yellow in the back 8.
Lõpuni ei. Hästi kukub. Kukub. Vau. Ja. Täis. Kõva nüüd.
Sooja kosku. Sooja.
Keeras üle veits.
Pädeval kosku. 0.5 suund oli. Võib-olla on see ära võtmise jaoks piisav kiirus.
Viskasin muide valgesse.
Tullaan tähän. Me saadaan joka tapauksessa niin tää kivi kauas takapesää ja tää siirtymään tonne päin, niin jollakin 9 nokkaan, 8 nokkaan.
8 tosta.
Joo.
Well, certainly looks like a hit has been called by Finland. I wonder if they're going to try and come to the inside here.
Yeah, and that back red maybe will go over the top of that. I mean, it's going to jam on the yellow. Might go over the top of that yellow on the back 8, just tapping it maybe and rolling up.
used to seeing Tomi Rantamäki throw with a very tiny hair broom, but obviously wanting the more modern broom for sweeping in mixed doubles curling. I'm just going to catch that red stone a little bit on the high side. It'll look pretty tough to get to the inside with that kind of weight. Comes pretty close to the guard. He's probably hoping to at least sit on top of that red. Estonia sitting 2.
Okay.
Mixed doubles can obviously be exhausting just because you're sweeping and throwing quite a lot, but is it also mentally exhausting just having to think about the angles all the time, so many rocks in play?
I think it can be definitely exhausting with all the communication you have with your teammate. You're kind of doing the job of 4 people with only 2, so it is a lot's going on out there, and you just have to really stay focused for all 8 ends.
Jah, 15. Ma annaks isegi rohkem, kuna punagas.
It's so quickly you have to get an end away from you when they go so quick with only the 5 stones.
Jah,
Really, each rock is just so important.
ta võib laiem olla lihtsalt, ma sellepärast tahtsin öelda. Null 6 aeg, jah?
Hoia,
Aeg,
suunda väga
jah?
hea. Ei, kaugel.
Aeg, kiiresti aeg.
Ootame kukkumist.
Jah,
This side is not the Estonian team we saw last year.
Nüüd läks. Nüüd läks täiega.
At that time, it was actually
Väga hea.
Harry Lill,
Veel.
the son
Veel.
of Erki, playing with Maria Thurman.
Super.
And so Erki beating his son in the Estonian final.
Kas viskavad 3 vastu?
And because Harry and Marie
Jos tulee
won
tohon
last year,
nokkaan, niin sillä ne varastaa 1. Se on ihan ok.
he had a bit of an advantage. So
Jos
that
se
put
osuu
them
ensin
into a
tohon,
best out of 3 game after
niin.
the championship final,
En tiedä miten käy. Kyllä sieltä 1 ainakin
which
lähtee.
this team obviously
Mä sanoisin, että on ehkä
won
turvallisin tulla
2 games to 1.
Siihen voi laittaa 7, 8, minkä haluat.
8.
8.
And with the Olympic points Estonia received last year, they also received some funding from their Olympic committee.
Joo, se on hyvä.
So actually, last year's team of Harry and Marie, they're receiving a small salary for playing mixed doubles curling. And this team of Erki Lill and Maila Mulder would receive the same if they could place 8th or better. Apparently that's how the system works in Estonia. If you place 8th or better at a world championship, funding is yours. Last stone, 3rd end,
Ei,
Una Costa.
ei.
This is a tricky one. Looking for the thin double. Doesn't quite get there, and she's going to come around the horn, spin the shooter way up in the top 12, leaving 3 red counters. A big steal for Estonia, and they've pretty much turned this game around. And it's the Estonians leading 4 shots to 3 after 3 ends of play.
Rahulikult, mis me teeme. Ei alta sellele.
Paned siin millestki väike.
Ja ma arvan, et see hind töötas täitsa. Aina. ise. Mitte midagi ei tee.
Well, when you're 3 down after the first end, it's nothing better than to score 4 points in the next 2.
Lõpuni oota.
Estonia's done that, so they're up by 1.
Mitte midagi ei tee.
And speaking of points and Olympic points, both these teams have a pretty good chance of making it to the Olympics.
Kiire aeg.
Estonia finishing 6th last year, receiving 7 Olympic points, and Finland in 7th place, receiving 6. So if they could ever copy the same result from last year, they're a shoe-in for the Olympics.
Yeah, hanging right in there. Very important for it being the last year and all. A lot of teams are fighting for that spot here.
Even just a couple of points here might be enough to get you in there, all depending on which teams make it to the playoffs this year.
Yeah, right now with Russia leading with 14 points.
USA to follow, 12.
Võtab kaitset, liigutab just ega midagi.
Sorry, China with 12, rather, and USA with the 10 points. And then we have Scotland and Canada for our featured teams this afternoon.
Kolm 11. Tõusu on vaja. Väga kaugel.
Ole lähedal. Keera.
Ma näen.
Jep.
Kuidas liin on?
Vau. Ei.
Peab tõusma veel.
Mitte midagi, keerab ilusti. Vau. Ei.
Tubli Maile. Veel aegas on vaja.
Ja ma tean, jah, sorry.
And here's the coach for Team Estonia, the brother of Erki, Martin Lill.
Tugi on taga, kõik on
And you know what? It's his birthday today.
Yeah, happy birthday, Martin.
Kui väljas ta on.
And brother Erki's birthday is tomorrow.
With 4 years apart.
Yeah. And Martin's also played the World Mixed Doubles Curling Championship a few times himself. And he would have lots of input for the team this week. And here's the coach for Team Finland, Joseph Brown from Tabor, Alberta. Another Canadian on the coach's bench. We've seen quite a bit of that in recent years.
Yeah, it's been pretty popular, especially this week.
Well, we're in Canada, so we might see some teams just reach out for some locals. Definitely seen that before in the World Mixed Doubles Curling Championship when we had it in Sweden. We had some Swedish curling players step up and coach some nations.
19. Puhastan.
Hoia sirgeksi, siis kukku.
Kaugel tundub.
Kaugel.
How you're saying with Estonia's coach that he played mixed doubles, it's nice to have a coach that has actually played the sport and not just transitioning from men's or women's curling to mixed doubles. To have experienced it themselves.
Tässä 5.
Wow, oota.
Super töö. Väga tuli 3-19.
Yeah, that's a cracking shot there from Maile Mulder. Puts that in jail.
Yeah, that's going to be a hard one to get out.
Yeah, definitely need to play 2 shots to remove that from the 1 foot. And I think that's the plan here for Tommi Rantamäki. He'll play the outturn draw. Now, do you think he would like to maybe tap the red up and free up the backing maybe? Open things up a little bit?
Yeah, I think it'd be very nice to get some rocks moving. So just opening up that 4 foot, making the scoring zone a bit bigger for themselves. Here in the 4th when they have hammer. Just having your rocks behind the 4 foot here just hurting you in the long run.
Well, there's other games ongoing in the MTB Center today. Sarah, would you like to take a look around?
Belarus is down to Latvia 2-7. Hungary is beating Croatia 10-0. Brazil is down from Japan 6-1, and Slovakia is beating Slovenia 5-0.
Yeah, a couple of blowouts this afternoon. Looks like we've picked the right game once more in this session.
Timeout here.
Yeah. In the fourth end, not too often you'll see that, I think. So their clock will stop. And the coach will have some walking time. And that 1 minute timeout won't start ticking away until the walking time is run out. And here we have not Martin Lill, but the head coach, Brian Gray, make his way down to the ice. So I'll try and listen in.
Are you about to throw your number 6?
Number 6,
It's curling a little more than your other two, okay? I don't know if you've noticed, but you've just overcurled the spot. You want to get a vertical freeze on the red.
Vertical freeze, so in that angle.
Vertical, straight up.
Straight, like.
So top 4.
Like here.
Yep. You're not even going near it. Even if you're only half the 4 foot, it's fine.
Yeah, and if it goes longer, then it's in the yellows, yeah?
Yeah, don't try not to change the angles, because there is a hole for the red to go into the back one, and then you get the double for 4, so you cannot move anything back the way. Whatever you do here needs to be a spot short. So I would come this side, try and get full top 4, or half 4 is fine. You're better a spot short because you've got one more rock to come.
Okay.
All right? Don't change the angles because we don't want to make any bigger hole, okay? So stay high, please. And your rock's just curling probably a rock and a half more than your other 2.
Right.
Okay?
Thanks.
Well, Brian Gray certainly seemed to be determined in his call here, wanting this draw, just top 4, pretty much freezing their own shots down there. And seems like he's also picked up on one of the rocks. The number 6 rock might be curling a tad more. I'm probably seeing that happen probably all 3 ends and thinking that, well, it's probably something you need to take into account.
Yeah, really good input by him, especially making the team aware of that possible curlier rock, just in case they hadn't picked up on it. But I really like the call here with top 4.
Kui saad, oota. Sa nüüd hoia harjaga suunda täis.
Kiire, ise punane.
Ainult tee.
Oota.
Ees punane. Kuhu tuleb?
Well, Brian Gray did not want them to change up too many angles, but this is coming up a tad heavy, and definitely move some stones around, but I don't think that's all too bad. At least eliminating those yellow stones in the back 4. I think it'd be hard for Finland to bring those into play. Definitely a chance for them to weld one on, though, in the pocket.
Yeah, it doesn't look like those red will be going anywhere too far, though. With how the rocks are lined up right now and sitting, it is important just to make sure you get there. You can bump them a little bit, but just don't want to be short on this.
Well, I'm not sure if he got to the inside enough there. Estonia, I believe, still lying shot stone. Definitely an unusable spot for Finland, though. It can certainly be tapped up an inch.
Saab seda lüüa, eks ju? Natuke halb on siin olukord.
Ta saab seda igal juhul lüüa. Siit poolt ta saab ka lüüa, mõlemad lähevad kollastusse.
Jaa, aga see on halvem, siis ei lähe.
Siis ta saab ka 2.
Aga paneme siia ülesse.
Now the question, does Finland have 2 ways in to score 2 here? Could they play the tap on the yellows and move both reds? Bring the shooter into play? Or could they come in the end turn and tap both the reds that way?
It'll be close. I think with the out turn, I was tapping their yellow. I don't know if they can out count that one. That would be jamming on the one in the back 4. Be close.
Yeah, I think definitely the end turn would be an easier shot for 2. So you might want to take that away and just throw the guard and say, all right, Finland, throw the out turn tap. It's a tough one. But Estonia will be throwing the out turn here. We'll see if it's just the guard or not.
Teiselt poole minna, kui suunda vaja järjata. Kaugel! Väga kaugel! Teiselt poole mine!
Kukub hästi.
Ei!
3, 2, 3.
Ei!
Kas nii lähemale?
Kõik! Kõik!
Okei.
Kõik!
Väga hästi on.
So not wanting to
Ei!
tap up the yellow here.
Okei, see on ideaalne mõlemat poolt.
Actually leaves that in,
Almost guarding both.
yeah, not a bad spot.
Niin, jos me päästään
Makes
tuohon
that in turn
nokkaan,
tougher,
oma jää
makes
tuohon.
the out turn pretty much impossible. I'd say that's a pretty brilliant shot by Erkilil. Although I still think the in turn might be there for the 2.
Yeah, just come with back 8, back 12 weight. Get it around the one in the top 4. Looks good.
Yeah, not having to move them far. You only really need to move the shot stone here. So just get to as close to nose as you can. With anything between back 4 and back 12 weight. And you score your 2 here. And Finland's back in the lead. Last stone, 4th in for Una Kausta.
Has her on it right away.
And then off here. Have they overswept it? I think they have, but it will be good enough for the single point. Needed to curl a bit more there to score their 2. But good enough to tie up the game. Now 4 each after 4 ends of play. That means that teams will head off the ice for a halftime break, and so will we. But we'll be back in a few moments with the highlights and the conclusion of this exciting game here this afternoon at the MTB Center.
Riippuu miten ne pomppii. Ei se ehkä olisi ollut täydelliselläkään välttämättä 2.
Joo, se tuli vähän ikävästi.
Taking a look at some of the highlights there from the first 4 ends between Estonia and Finland. Finland off to a great start as Una Kauste has a nose hit for 3, which is well made, and 3 points up on the board for the Finns. In the second end, Estonia would score their single. And in the third end, it was up to Una Kauste to make a skinny double. That comes a little wide, and is a bit lucky to spill around the horn, up and out. And that's a steal of 3 for Estonia. All of a sudden, the Estonians now in the lead, 4 shots to 3. And in the fourth end, possibly a chance to play a tap for 2 here for Una Kauste. Tomi Rantamäki maybe a little too aggressive on the line call, but it's good enough for the single point. So tight game here at halftime. And Estonia will have a hammer when we return to the fifth end. Just taking a look at some of the stats here. See Estonia just outplaying Finland by the 5%, and yeah, I guess that's about what it's worth. They've turned the hammer, seeing how Finland started with the last one advantage. You see those big 3 stolen points for Estonia that came in the third end. But I'd say we can expect a very close next 4 ends, Sarah.
Yeah, this game has been really back and forth, and it'll be exciting to see how they handle the next 4. Who's going to take control and who's going to use their power plays to their advantage.
Katsotaan mitä tuu.
Prooviks rahulikult ette valgele?
Jah, ma annan nüüd suunda näiteks rohkem, siis kaitse liikus
Ja,
sinna.
ja pigem aeglane, et siis ma harjaga viiksin. Valge sinine, mis sa arvad?
Siin võis olla aeglasem, et toona viskas...
Kas valge sinine sobib sulle? Suunad.
Jaa. 3.15.
Jep.
Yeah, slight mistake from Finland there, crashing on the guard. At least didn't open it up too much. Leaves them fairly close to the center line, so we'll keep the play along the center line and the forfeit area as Erkki Lill tries to come around the yellows. It's so key to stay in front of the tee line here, but this one will slip in behind, so chance for Finland to follow that draw down and freeze them both. Surprisingly, playing the in turn.
Yeah, after seeing Team Estonia just play the line perfectly with the out turn.
I'm honestly not sure what the call here is. Just looking at the ice being given. Are they coming through the port, perhaps?
I think they must be, or
playing a tap. It's a little hard to say. This one has tons of rotation, so I do think they are actually going through the port here. This would be a pretty special shot to make from Tomi Rantamäki. He's very close. That's a pretty good result, actually. A spinner through the port.
perfectly buried.
That's pretty tough to make. I don't think that shot was available if he didn't throw that amount of rotation. Obviously, with the more rotation, your rock will run a bit straighter. And on impact as well, it won't roll as far. Very impressive stuff there by Rantamäki. Showing us all kinds of tricks today.
Yeah, especially with just brooming it correctly, to be able to adjust from a normal 3 rotation rock to a 5 rotation rock like that. That was a great shot.
I wonder if that's something they might have practiced too back home in Finland. Yeah. Rantamäki's got all kinds of tricks up his sleeve. As Maile Mildet will try and follow through this port. No need for a spinner here. Just going to make it through and try and take off the finished stone, but it doesn't curl enough. Crashes on the guard, but spins the shooter in. Not too bad a result there. Leaves it fairly open. Another red stone in the house. Finland needs to be a little bit careful.
Etosini!
Ei. Suunta on tosi hyvä.
Tää on teillä!
Lujemmalta.
Tee!
Okei, sit tarvii nousta. Ei, suunta on tosi hyvä. Nousee liikaa. Joo. Pidä suoraan.
Maybe this one just over curling.
Sori. Mä en taju minkä loppunousu se otti kyllä.
Se oli aika kova nousu.
Se oli todella hyvän näköinen heitto.
Joo.
Yksi variant on kaitse ära, on ju.
With how the rocks were laying before that, I wouldn't have minded just throwing one top 12 biting 8-foot, just put another one in the rings, but also kind of guard it.
Vaatan, kas siin.
mina läheks ikkagi siitpoolt sisse, võtab kaitse ära või läheb see
Interesting to see what Estonia does here.
80-90 või?
no see oli 54.
Definitely no way to get both eels going here.
Ma üritan uuesti.
I'd expect them to maybe
Tagajoon, häkk.
come down on the entered side here, tamp things up.
Aga rahulikuga, et kui võtab äkki punkti ära või?
no teda ei ole absoluutselt näha.
Kumb
ma
siis?
ise pakuks võib-olla Audiga võtta, et ta kui mööda läheb, võtab sealt tagant punase.
Aga kollasel on sinnapoole võimalik nagu ära minna, teistpidi ta stopperdab, meil on 3.
We've seen here with the two different types of strategies between Estonia and Finland, that Estonia is sweeping the rocks together, not having a broom held, compared to Team Finland, who usually has the one player in the house holding broom for them.
Punkt ära.
võtame punkti ära,
Rule
või
change
keskkaitse.
2 years ago was able for players to be not in the house and be able to sweep their partner's stones.
Siis ma peaks niipidi võtma, ma lähen lihtsalt kaitse.
okei. Läheb mööda või? Kui läheb mööda,
Oh, so we'll see the hit here. Trying to eliminate at least a yellow rock and try and bring those other reds into play, but we'll crash on the guard. Not sure if that was the call. I
Lõppvajus.
think they definitely were going for the open yellow and maybe even trying to roll in and rattle those stones in the button.
Definitely. I think that's what they were going for, but isn't the worst thing to get rid of the center guard.
Metri!
Definitely means that Rantamäki needs to replace it. Is it over curling on Finland here? Maybe a tad.
Joo. Mä katsoin merkistä, että ei voi ainakaan liikaa nousta, mutta voisi. Niin.
Niin mä olisin ajatellut siinä edellisessä
Niin,
heitossa.
aivan.
Ja siinä kohtaa
Might have
mä
just
huomasin,
about
että
all of
suunta on
it.
tosi hyvä. Ja sen jälkeen se teki niin.
Idea.
Maybe edge on edge from the guard to the one in the
merkillä, jotka on
forefoot.
tullut voimakkaammin. Et siellä voi olla pikkusen kukkulaa tuolla laidassa.
Voi olla. Se oli sun viimeinen.
Joo. No jos ne tulee tohon noja, siis sillä lailla, että tökkää ton takakiven pois, niin sitten suoja olisi aika hyvä.
Otetaan vaan vielä isompaa merkkiä sitten. Tai sitten toista
Tai,
kautta.
tai pienempää. No katsotaan.
Neli, kuus.
Wow.
Yeah, so throwing some weight here,
Ei. Ja. Ei.
looking to get the finish shot stone out, dispel them.
Pole paha.
Well, enough to lie second and third.
No ta tabas nii nagu me tahtsime.
Ei,
See if Finland might be tempted to play the double on the reds.
Mul see rääkimata. Kood on avatud.
Tabas pool kivi praegu, Erki, tal oli lihtsalt stopper
Hästi,
taga, seal ei
hästi.
olnud võimalik.
Niillä on oman kautta silloin yhteen.
Yeah, lay 1, 2, and
V-voima,
3.
etupunainen.
Looks like they're going to be drawing top 4.
Yeah, like mentioned earlier, definitely the go-to shot to play the draw, especially in mixed doubles curling. Usually have the draw weight in your back pocket, so you feel pretty safe making them.
Yeah, I don't mind the draw here, just because if they were going for the double and ended up over curling a bit and just hitting it on nose, there would be a possible double for Team Estonia to score there too.
Well, if you over curl this one too, It would leave a tap for Estonia to score there too, and if it doesn't curl enough, they might leave a double to score 3 here. So I'd say there's still some risks playing the draw.
Yeah, I guess with whatever you call it, definitely helps if you make it.
Hei.
And this will not
Hieno heitti. Loistava.
come in behind the guard, but just about edge to edge. I'm not sure if the double will be on for the 3 here.
Jaa, aga vaata see kaitse on lihtsalt ees.
ma saan aru, et on.
I'm sitting pretty much right in behind the hack.
Pool kivi on
And
näha.
it's
Ole paigas.
if anything, that shot just played by Finland is even maybe an inch buried. So that looks pretty tough to make.
Yeah, it has been curling hard off that center line, but
Jaa,
not sure if the triple's there.
60.
Arkilelu will have a better look from the hack here.
Ma võin harjata. Ma tulen harjan.
So we'll see if this is just a controlled shot to score 1, or if they're looking to try and spill both of them. Either way, this is the last stone of the 5th end. Big sweep early on here, trying to get it past the guard, but no, denied. Will crash on the guard. That's a steal of 2 for Finland. Quite a few steals in this game already. 2 points up the board for yellow, and the Finns will lead it 6 shots to 4 after 5 ends of play.
No, se päästi niin löysästi irti siitä.
Well, there's a lot of excitement on the center court as we head into the 6th end. It's power play time.
Ota pesäkiveä.
Yes, and it looks
Ei
like
osu siihen vielä.
Team Finland is trying to just tick that yellow one into the center, like moving, hit it by 3/4, but
Nousu.
maybe a bit wide and coming
No, so-
down to the red rock on the tee line. Each team can have a power play
Se on ainakin erilainen
once per
heitto.
game when they have the hammer. Just
kuka
reposition the rocks
yrittää.
from the center line to either side of the house.
I have to say, Monikausta wasn't too far off hitting the bumper with that shot.
Jaa, anna suuntaan.
And ends up corner frozen.
10.
It's one way to do it.
I think if you were calling the freeze, I'd be a pretty tough shot to make.
9-2.
Ei.
Barely come that wide.
Kaugel. Kaugel, ta ei lähe isegi meie punasesse nüüd.
Something Finland might be able to use later on.
Kaugel.
But the guard definitely still in play for Estonia to come around and try and set up for their multiple score. This one's a little heavy, all wide. At least needs to hang around. Monikausta do everything she can
Okei.
to get it out, but just gonna cling on in the back 12.
Kataan toi.
Still not allowed to play the hit on the guard here. Not until the 4th thrown rock, or as I like to do, just count up how many stones are in play. There needs to be 5 stones in play, or at least been thrown. And now Spinorama, not the Stoughton or McEwen kind, but the Tomi Rantamäki version of it.
Lähellä.
Big spinner down the ice here.
Jep.
Looking for the tick shot. That's one way to do it. I'd say that's a pretty good result for Finland. Gets the center guard.
No se on auki nyt.
And then with some other scores going on today, Latvia's beating Belarus 7-4. Hungary is winning 10-2. Japan's beating Brazil 8-2, and Slovakia's beating Slovenia 6-1.
Thank you for that, Sarah. So already the one game over. Just next to ours. Hungary picking up a solid win. We've seen them on the top of the podium a few times in the past.
Yeah, very strong team there.
Estonia will use that center guard.
Kollase taha
Come around again.
Suunda on. Suunda on. Ruumi on.
Big finish on this in turn.
Paremaks kui kollane ainult.
parem kui kollane.
Parem kui
Vaata
kollane
liini.
ainult. Kõik keerab üle.
That's a very nice draw by Maile Meldet.
Aga hea.
Really nice placement there in front of the tee. Full 8 foot.
17 oli.
Paha nurk jäi.
I believe the run back is called by Tomi Rantamäki. Yeah, Finland's been known for their takeout game, especially if you think of Finnish team that picked up the silver medal back in 2006, skipped by Markku Ussa-Pavoniemi. That whole team was pretty solid with the hits. Ville Mäkelä, the third. Not sure if I've seen a lower slide than his. This one might be over curling on Rantamäki, but maybe plan B, get the other red, yes. Better than nothing, but leaves a corner guard.
Marginaalia osutaan tähän poskeen, niin ei ainakaan pomppaa suojaksi tolle kivelle sitten.
Not a bad result.
Lase kollane alla.
Nice to open up that
See kollane las tava.
first count there in the top
Tervakaitse
8.
taha, jah. Rahulikult 3-17 oli ennem, väga hea.
Meille tulee joku tupla heitettäväksi seuraavalla kivellä.
I believe Estonia will be
12.
drawing around the corner.
Tõuge, aga vaata ise.
Suuna poolest ei saa.
Tundub ise. Suunda palju, ülipalju.
Suunda on palju, jah.
Oota,
Trying
kui
to split
saad
the house
Ei
here.
saa midagi teha.
Keep some good separation
Oota korra.
between the reds.
Kaugel, hästi
Although this
kaugel.
one
Ainult
looking
sama joon,
a
mida
bit hot coming down.
It has lots of room to curl.
See if Tommy can sweep this one all the way out.
Hästi.
Not quite. Just gonna hang on. So a couple of reds accumulating.
Okei. See
A
pool
little scary for Finland, especially when they don't have hammer here.
Oma toivottavasti
Võimalik, me peame kollase maha võtma.
ei no kindlasti peame maha võtma.
See if they can maybe play the double on the two reds on the left here. Maybe roll the shooter all to the right
Mä
and
nähtiin äsken, miten se tuli aika hyvin.
leave a flat impossible double for the Estonians.
A key thing here is to get the double. Would be nice to get some separation on those rocks.
So out turn double here, just across the nose. Looks pretty close. Definitely catching the first red and the second. There we go. Very nice. The shooter will stick in the 12.
Very
Just
nice.
good enough to sit to. Beautiful shot by Tomi Rantamäki.
Very nice, yeah. Nice to be able to keep that shooter around for a second count there.
Yeah, it makes it very unlikely that Estonia scores more than two here.
kiirus võrast, tule appi.
Just attempted this draw around the corner, so she'll have a better guess this time. Alkilil, a little bit panicked on the sweep. Might have taken too much weight off of this draw here. Maile Melde. And I'm not sure what was going on there. Not even close to the house. And Finland with a chance to draw in set 3 for Estonia's final stone.
Anna hyytyä!
Might have back in here.
Yeah, red stone in the back. There we go. Why not? Would have probably liked to have put that in the 8-foot somewhere, at least to close down the scoring area. All bit for Alkilil. Not really only needing a nibble of the 8-foot to score their single point, not too much pressure, but 3 yellows hanging around. It's always a little bit scary.
Yeah. Hopefully by the 6th end here, they has figured out his draw weight. See him drop one right on the pin.
Last one of the 6th end, the power play hasn't really worked out for Estonia. We did see power play not working out too well yesterday either. It'll be interesting to see how that progresses through the week. If teams are able to make good use of the power play or not. No sweep to this one, but I think it's going to settle down in time back of the 8-foot. Good enough for a score of 1 here. But Estonia will be trailing Finland by a single point, and the score is 5-6. And Finland will have the hammer when they come back in the 7th end. We might see another power play. You never know. Well, I must be a psychic because I've called a power play here, Sarah. Or was that really just easy to call?
You know, I think it was a good guess of yours, but with Estonia having hammer here in the 7th, I don't think they would want to wait till the 8th because they might have not have the opportunity to use it if they don't have a hammer there.
On ise ära harja, siis kukub veel. Väga hea. Tule.
No, interesting tactic here. No tech shot from Estonia. They throw the center guard. That is something we have seen in prior years. Not in the future game so far on our broadcast, but throw the center guard. The thought is then to, I assume, bring the play back to the 4-foot rather than around the corner, Sarah?
Yeah, I think they're trying to ignore the outside rocks for now, and Estonia is there trying to just take advantage of the 4. Since they can't hit yet. Interesting to see what they'll do here. Maybe throw on top 4.
I have to say, playing the tech shot on the corner, that's what we've seen so far. That's what we saw yesterday and in the previous end. And there was no multiple score with the power play in either of those ends. So for now, I think that seems like a viable option anyway. See how this works out. Not allowed to play a hit quite yet. This is a draw, but will be crashing pretty heavily on the guard. And this is not looking too good for Estonia here. 2 yells in behind cover, forefoot's fairly open. Tomi Rantamäki can now play the hit, so trying to make that yellow stone on the wing come into play by playing the hit and roll.
Yeah, to lay 3. I think I either like the tick on the first option or put one top 4. Nice shot.
Yeah, pretty good there. Probably wanted to roll another 2 feet, but not bad at all.
Yeah, still very much in control of this end. Might see more than 1 point scored with the power play today.
Oh, that would be something special, Sarah. While Mulder looking for a double takeout here. Needing a tad more curl, 1 and 2, but stuffs it. Still those 2 yellows in behind cover. Now Finland with a chance to come around and sit 3. Estonia could be in big trouble here.
Might have to play a run.
And obviously the good thing about playing around a corner, it makes it a lot harder for your opponent to just play a freeze and take away the end. So definitely important to keep this one in front of the tee line. Don't want to come deep here and allow Estonia to play a freeze and eliminate those 3 yellows. Oh, but Tommy is not really sweeping.
Yeah, it'd be fine to even drop it top 12. Just biting.
Yeah, definitely the tolerance for the shot. Draw is coming down though. But that's unswept right on the tee. That's a bit of a mistake from Tomi Rantamäki. And as mentioned, if Mulder makes a good freeze here, a freeze tap, it could be hard for Finland to remove.
Yeah, good opportunity here for Estonia. It's always good to remember the pro side of shots, or the side that if you do miss, what side do you want to miss on? A little light or a little heavy?
This is a key shot right here for Estonia to salvage the end. Hasn't been looking too good up until this point. And I have to say, that attempt not really improving things too much. Sitting pretty much in the open. Finland makes a little hit and roll here, sets 4. It's going to be looking a little sticky for Team Estonia.
Yeah, don't want to roll too far here so that they'd let Estonia just do the same freeze again. Be nice if you just roll just on top of the one you have behind tee.
Very quick weight call from Rantamäki down to Kausta on the sweep here, trying to hold the line, starting to over curl. Will make contact with the red, but maybe rolls a little too far. Like you said, Sarah, chance to play a freeze or freeze tap again. Definitely putting the pressure on Estonia though.
Yeah, having 4 there in the house. Let's see if they will lock one on here and take away the chance of the power play that they've been working pretty well on.
Remember, this is Estonia's final stone. A bit of a make or break here for Erkki Lill.
Taking his time.
Thinking maybe straight freeze on the shot stone, or maybe even tap the second shot a foot, sit on top.
Both would be great options.
Suund on okei. Lõpuni
Important
ei.
not to overthrow this one,
Ei,
that's for
lõpuni.
sure. Don't want to bounce out in the open like they did with Milder's
Ei!
previous shot.
Ei! Ei lõpuni!
Line's looking close.
Really close.
Need to curl a tad more. Gets all tad. That's not too bad of a shot there by Erkilil. That's not going to be too easy to remove.
Kato sitä, että jos tulee tohon
That could have been disastrous if he curled maybe another inch and just ticked off the top pillow and rolled out in the open.
Jama on see, et ta saab nagu sealt kollase põrkest selle
A
välja.
very precise close shot there.
Aga praegu on väga
Yeah, he knows it.
Might be, what, half bared, do you think?
Yeah, I'm not sure if, how easy it is to get it out playing the centerline side of it, though. Rantamäki doing a bit of cleaning. I'm going to see a big hit coming down center court from Una Kausta. See if she can try and wiggle this red free. Big shot here. Up by one. Put another couple of points up on the board here. We'll have a strong hold coming into the eighth end. Looking close. Definitely going to make contact, but how much? Not enough. And they will jam and sit around back four. A game saver of a shot from Erkilil. And that's a steal for Estonia. That's going to tie up the game after 7 ends of play. And we'll be looking forward to an exciting eighth end here.
Teeme niimoodi,
As we'll
kuidas saaks
come to a conclusion.
see, et sa oma seda gripperit nagu ei käi võtmas niimoodi
Oota,
sekundit.
seda on väga vaja.
Ma saan aru,
Harjutuseks.
siis võta seda
Rahumine 2 minutit.
Kas sa kuuled? Ilus vise, 10.
Puhasta.
Puhastan. Kuidas suund
Suund
räägib?
on okei.
Time certainly flies in mixed doubles curling. It's already down to the eighth end.
Läheb.
Quite possibly the final end. It's a tied game. Rarely you'll see a blank end
Ei ole midagi, läheb
in the
edasi.
final end. Less so in mixed doubles play.
Sisse oli.
Yes, especially since when you blank, you give up the hammer.
Kes kaitse tagasi äkki?
Etu valko!
Another little interesting role that is in mixed doubles.
Mistake from Erkilil, doesn't get around the guard. But certainly doesn't open up the foreford too much, just leaving 2 tight guards.
Suunta
They're
hyvä!
trying to get through the port here, throwing another guard.
Drawing around the widest guard here. Starting to make a move. Just gonna clip it.
Jätä siinä.
Rolls it in top 8. Maybe not all that bad.
Hyvä.
Tiniga ikka.
Makes that port even bigger. And you wonder if this might just be a guard from Estonia,
12.
Palju? Oota.
knowing they need to steal.
Kaugel.
Kiirusta ja.
Ja. Ja täis. Suund. Kaitse hea.
Ei ole hea.
Miks hea?
Perhaps it was a draw.
12 kollast ja kõksad.
But in the end, we're leaving some shrapnel up front.
Selgita
So
täpsemalt.
saa
It's going
aru.
to be a nuisance for Finland.
Time out.
And Finland's going to call a timeout here. Maybe just trying to talk through the end a little bit here, trying to figure out what their next couple of moves is going to be. Play it aggressive or try peel in the guards. I guess that's sort of the two options they might be left with.
Yeah, with them sitting 2 in the house already, it's tempting just to throw another one in there instead of peeling, but
Ehkä sen saa tohon. Kyllä se tohon
I
saa.
feel like that's double on the
Vaan se, että kun tullaan määriksi,
two reds on the right there would be
maalia niille ratsastaa.
mighty tempting, but we'll see what Joseph Brown has to say.
So at this point we are thinking whether to take something away or start projecting the owns.
Yeah.
Because they always have the race,
They have three
which is
pretty,
risky. Yeah.
pretty open raises there, yeah.
Yeah.
And you bring something else in and it bunches them up for a blow up later too,
Yeah.
perhaps, right?
Yeah.
But is there a safe place to bring it in without
Well, we can come
block?
around here.
Yeah, to
but-
block one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that gives them more
More
area to
ammunition.
hit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Do we overlap maybe the center one, perhaps? But then
you mean a guard?
like an overlap tight.
Yeah. But
Overlap
well,
guard.
guard is dangerous because if they raise that one
Yeah.
and they have it number 1, and
Yeah.
then we are
Then we have
worried.
it. Yeah.
So
I think that this is best if they make it here.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or what if
Come-
we
come around.
what if we take that card away, because they cannot come around there, and then we would have the unknown stone in use.
Just peel that one away then?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Running through some options
Niin,
there.
jos ottaa sen pois, niin sen jälkeen meillä on
I
aina
think the
tuo
most-
oma täältä.
The dangerous
Ei, kun oma
rock
tuolta välistä
for
pois.
the most dangerous rock for Finland now is probably the center guard on the center line. If you just peel that away,
No, se on
still
ehkä
fairly
parempi.
open in the forefoot.
Niin, kun ei niillä tätä kautta ole mitään järkevää tällä
yes,
hetkellä.
I
Ja me saataisiin
agree.
toisilla
It's
itselle
interesting to
käyttöön.
see how the 2 timeouts went with both teams. With this team,
Joo, 7 siitä
the
välistä.
male
Joo.
player actually did a lot of the talking compared to when the other team, the coach, did most of the talking. It was very much of a conversation out there, going through a bunch of options.
Looks like they will be peeling this card just next to Auna Kausta's broom, though, which a little bit surprising. At least it will open up the Yellowstone top 8 for Finland to use. And I'm not sure if they're looking to maybe take off this center guard as well, or if it's just a single peel. We'll see how it works out here for Tomi Rantamäki.
Trying to get up and sweep this peel.
One, and gonna wiggle things around. I don't think that's too bad there for Finland.
Yeah, just opening up the
Se
play.
on oikeastaan aukesi.
Rahulikult.
Viitsid räägi?
Lähme
Yeah,
rahulikult
top
sinna
does tap Redstone into the top 12, but
otse punasesse.
Keskmist
less places to hide now for Estonia.
aga backline'i kiirus kirjagu suunda, mitte rohkem.
Especially if they tuck
Lagi
one
peale peab
under
minema, seda ütleb mulle.
the yellow, they would be able to just do that little double run into it.
And I think the call from Estonia is to play a tap on the Redstone, which I'm a little bit surprised by. That way you're really grouping your own reds. I'm not sure if you're going to accomplish all that much with it.
aga jaa!
They do end up making a pocket in the back 8 foot.
And maybe it'll come to freeze on that or use it as backing later, but
kõik on hästi.
Siinä vaan se, että se sämmää sinne takakiveen helposti.
Ends up in not the worst spots, the reds here for Estonia, actually.
Vedetään.
No way to play a double off them. It's kind of hard to remove the other red as well. A few
Yeah.
jams in the back.
Saako noista tuplaa? Ei saa. Oona. Vedetään tällä tohon.
motioning to
Voi
peel the
lähteä
guard
kaikki
into it,
kolme.
that's not
Ainakin
a
tää on
bad
auki.
call.
Seiska.
Seiska, suoraan päin.
Ignoring the open rocks in the house, if they just do peel or run.
Well, at this point, I think you play this as very much like a regular curling end, the 4-player format. It's just about opening things up and just making sure you have a shot to win. If it's a forfeit draw or an open hit, either way, you're pretty happy to have a shot for the win. And taking off the guard here, maybe get a second red going. So he's going to keep them, keep it a little easier for them. See one go, not a second one. So still a couple of reds up there for Estonia to use. Now, do you want to throw a guard here and wait once more, or do they come around here with this one? 2 stones left for Estonia.
I'd like to see them throw another guard, forcing. You just saw the other team peel it, tempting them to waste another rock, trying to clear things up before coming to the forfeit.
I think I might like the guard because might force Finland to make the draw themselves, and then you still have something to tap up. I think they're looking for a tap on the stone top 8 here. So over curling. Still leaves something red up front, but I think Rantamäki should be able to get 2 going.
Let's probably see that peel weight again.
Saako kaikki 3 pois? Onko mahdollinen?
Ei.
It's a little bit up to Uunakausta as well. She's the one having to throw the last rock for the win.
With 40 seconds left on their clock, with 2 rocks to go for them.
Kausta calling the guard, which is very surprising. 30 seconds left on the clock for Finland. Actually need to make a decision quite quickly. And I think Tomi Rantamäki just agreeing, okay, let's just throw the guard. Just can't waste any more time. But a guard doesn't make all that sense to me. You're leaving Estonia with a draw around just a heap of stones on the top of the house. And if they make a good one, they might not even have a shot for the game.
Yeah, pretty counterintuitive with on his first 2 just peeling guards, now throwing up his own.
Yeah, this would make more sense if they maybe had a shot stone top of the tee line. But well, we'll see how it works out. Still felt like the double peel in the front there would make more sense. And now I'm thinking Estonia should probably play the outturn draw.
Yes, definitely. With 50 seconds left on their clock to throw this last stone. Good amount of time left for 1 rock.
Yeah, shouldn't be too stressed. Got 40 seconds now, already in the hack here. Erkki. Some teams or some players definitely get too stressed out by looking at the clock. Sometimes it's just nice to know how long you actually usually spend in the hack. That way, you think, okay, I spent 15 seconds, I got 40 left, no need to worry.
And it's important to keep it the same every time and not change your routine depending on the shot.
Well, penultimate stone coming down here in the 8th end. It is Finland lying shot stone, so this one will have to be made. This looks like a double tap at the moment.
Getting pretty close.
Red, yellow onto the red. Does it get far enough? It does not. So Finland will score and they will win. That is, well, a bit of a cracking end to this game. Lots of drama. Bit of time issues and some wacky calls. Too bad we couldn't see the final shot be played by Uunakausta just to put the cherry on top. You see Milder and Kausta hugging. 2 teams that know each other, but it is Finland to pick up the W. And if you stick around, we'll have some highlights for you from this very exciting game. We'll have Sierra Anderson make her way down to have a few words with the winning side.
Sehän siinä oli, että mä olin toisessa päässä. Mä en näe kulmia, ei ole aikaa tulla tänne.
Well, just taking a another look around the MTB Centre today and run you through the other scores.
En mä enää kattonut niitä.
As you see, Finland
Miettinyt ollenkaan niitä kulmia.
winning 8 shots to 6 here on Centre Court. You also saw Latvia beat Belarus 11 shots to 4. Hungary picked up a win with a 10-2 game over Croatia. Japan picks up a win as well, beating Brazil 11 shots to 4. And Slovakia beating Slovenia 8 shots to 1. In the meantime, I can mention that we'll have more mixed doubles action later on at 17:45. That's 5:45 local time here in Lethbridge, Alberta. It's England taking on USA. And then for the evening draw at 9 o'clock, we'll have Switzerland playing Russia, and that should be a good one. But for now, just stick around for highlights and interviews. Estonia is playing their neighbour Finland in the World Mixed Doubles Curling Championship. In the first end, Una Kausta with a great start, making the no set for 3 points. 3 up on the board is always nice. Estonia would fight back with a single point in the second end, and lying a couple here before Una Kausta's final rock in the third end. She's a bit unlucky. Comes around the horn, spins the shooter up and out, leaving 3 red counters and a big steal for Estonia, now in the lead 4 shots to 3. In the fourth end, Finland scores 1 point. In the fifth, Erkki Lill wanting to come close to the guard, but not that close. Crashing on the guard, leaving a steal of 2 for Finland, now up 6 to 4. In the eighth end, quite a lot of shrapnel for Erkki Lill to come around, and a tight score. Couldn't get there for shot stone, which means Finland not having to throw their final stone of the eighth end. They'll pick up the win. Final score, 8 shots to 6.
En mä enää kattonut niitä. Miettinyt ollenkaan niitä kulmia sen jälkeen, kun me päätettiin, mitä tehdään.
And you'll see the ice makers very much at work already. A tight schedule, as we'll have all of 5 sessions of mixed doubles curling today. And the ice makers, of course, doing a very good job so far. Ice looking great. And tons of volunteers helping out. I believe Sarah Anderson is with Team Finland.
Congrats on the win there, guys. You started strong with getting a 3 in the first end. How did you refocus after going down 4 to 3 in the fourth?
Well, we still had 4 ends to play, so after it was tight, so I don't know. I don't know. I just thought that we have enough ends to win the game.
Yeah, great. Definitely had half the game left, so you had some time to battle back. And you guys are neighbors with Estonia. Do you guys play each other often, and is it a good rivalry there?
Well, not that often. If it happens to be so, we meet on CCT tour. Sometimes we go there to practice, but not very often. and vice versa. They have been in Finland too. So we know them pretty well, and they're nice people.
Yeah, they are really good friends for us, so it's always, well, complicated to play against them because you want to win, but you just want everything good for your friends.
That's great. Thank you so much, guys, and good luck for the rest of the round robin.
Thank you.
Okay, great win for Finland as they look to take another step towards the Olympics. We'll have more curling action, as mentioned. 5:45, England plays USA here in the MTB Centre, Lethbridge, Canada. Stay tuned on World Curling TV.